it was a long time coming. I definitely was wondering if slash when this would ever happen, but it finally did happen. Nintendo finally said, "Hey, we're gonna sue Palworld." This is very interesting, and we got Mutahar here with a funny looking freeze frame. Let's go.
Gals, me
This comes from
Mutahar,
the
and I bet you
Discord.
knew this video was coming. So yesterday I came home and, it was a good day until I came and read that Palworld was getting sued by good old Nintendo, ladies and gentlemen. Now, to give an idea about what's going on, if you know about this game named Palworld, you probably have heard about it. January of this year was when this game dropped and
Really?
basically became
It was only in January? I didn't know that.
like a mature response to Pokemon. It was a huge success on Game Pass. Tons of people played it.
You're
I played it
saying
with
I'm
my friends,
whispering?
actually made videos on it, and
Is this
yeah, it
better?
became a pretty awesome game that everyone liked.
Should I
And there
just do
was some
this? Should I
controversy
just do
around
videos like this from now on? I should just do it like this since it's better quality.
it. People looked at the
That's
company, some of
fine.
the
We could just
stuff
do it
being
like
said,
this.
but there was one
It's a thing now.
assumption that maybe Nintendo was gonna sue them. And you know what? Months
Maybe.
had passed. January became February. February became March. Well, the
Yeah,
story
time
ends at
passed.
September 19, 2024.
Took a while.
Filing lawsuit for infringement of patent rights against Pocket Pair Incorporated. Now, I want to say that this is
Hmm.
patent, rights,
Patent.
not
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
copyrights. Okay, copyrights are different. Nobody is, arguing that there was some copyrights or IPs being stolen. Patents are a lot different. So
Copyright isn't being
Nintendo,
disputed
all right,
right
of
now.
Japan, together with the Pokemon Company,
Yeah, if it's
okay,
not heavy,
all right,
it's not that heavy.
one and the same, filed a patent
It's just a
infringement
thing.
lawsuit in the Tokyo District
It's a thing
Court
we do.
against Pocket Pair Incorporated. On September 18th, 2024, the lawsuit seeks an injunction against infringement and compensation for damages on the ground that Palworld, a game
Damages and compensation? Bro, you own Pokemon. What damages did they take, bro? Your games aren't good. There's a reason why people switched to Power World because that game was actually fun. This sounds like a you problem.
developed and released by the
Let me know if
defendant
I'm wrong.
infringes multiple patent rights. So, what Nintendo said is they'll continue to take necessary actions against any infringement of its intellectual property rights, including the Nintendo brand itself, to protect the intellectual
What up,
properties
Chaotic?
it has worked
My favorite part-time mod. Let's go.
hard to establish over the years. Now, look, before we get into like blind defense and fanboyism, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of the Nintendo, not polishers that might be like, well, it's
Bro, he saved that. He's about to say something else.
Nintendo's right to defend themselves.
Sure.
It's
Yeah,
totally a
sure.
Nintendo thing to just out of nowhere
I'm a
sue a
freelancer who
company
gets paid
months
$0.
after. And of course, there
Damn.
was a reasoning to that too. Obviously, Nintendo had to do some careful investigation on this as well. So, according to Nintendo Life, all right, according to a Nintendo spokesperson, they're like, we filed a lawsuit at this timing after careful investigation of the content that is the subject of this lawsuit. We will refrain from commenting on topics that relate to the content of the lawsuit. So obviously it's supposed to be very hush hush. And so I started to look into like Japan's like laws around patents and everything too. And when I looked at patent prosecution, look, are all types of subject matter patentable? So apparently, according to Japanese law, if the claimed inventions lack industrial applicability, the invention is not patentable. Inventions
Okay.
of methods for performing surgery on humans, providing therapy to humans, or diagnosing humans lack industrial applicability. And then it's like, is there a duty to the patent office to disclose prejudicial prior disclosures or documents? No, there is not. So again, looking through this kind of information, the way that patents
X49 just wants to see the world burn.
are treated, unfortunately, all right, Nintendo is arguing that there was some mechanic or something in Palworld that is infringing on their established patents, and that's
Would
pretty
it be
much the end of that.
the only thing I could ever assume that they could go with is the capture system. The way that you capture the pals is like the same thing as Pokemon. You take a ball, you throw them into the ball, but I mean, besides that, I mean, creature design, animal design, that's free game. Like you didn't create an anthropomorphic creatures that get, battled against and captured with, but you could maybe say something about the balls, maybe. Pause. Pause.
Now, this is where the whole like situation kind of like goes radio silent. There's not much you can get out. Looking through Japanese, courts, I don't think you can pull these, documents at all publicly, and I don't expect to either. If neither party is going to comment, it's probably going to be pretty hush hush, and especially that this
100%.
is two companies going at each other,
Yeah,
one significantly larger than the other. You can expect that
absolutely.
this will probably take a fair bit of time going through the court
Absolutely, it
system
will.
before any actual information of value comes out. So, again, based on what Pocket Pair had said regarding the lawsuit, yesterday a lawsuit was filed at our company for patent infringement. We have received notice of this lawsuit and will begin the appropriate legal proceedings and investigations into the claims of patent infringement. At this moment, we are unaware of the specific patents we are accused of infringing upon and have not
Okay.
been notified of
They're
such
defending themselves.
details. So
Okay.
even Pocket Pair has no fucking idea what they did
So you're
wrong.
blindly
They
getting
just
sued.
know
That's
that they're being
crazy.
sued. So
That's
Pocket Pair
wild.
is a small indie company based in Tokyo. And
Okay.
it's always sad when
So
you're
they are in
hosted in the
Japan.
same country as the
Yikes.
larger
Yikes.
as whoever's
Yikes.
hitting you.
Yikes.
Our
Yeah,
goal
yeah,
as a
yeah.
company has always
That's
been to
big.
create fun games. We will continue to pursue this goal because we know that our games bring joys to millions of gamers around the world. Palworld was a surprise success, both for gamers and for us. So yeah, they're a pretty, good team. They said it's unfortunate that we will be forced to allocate significant time to matters unrelated to game development due to this lawsuit. However, we will do our utmost to our fans and to ensure that indie
Wait,
game
can y'all see the
developers
chat
are not
popping up?
hindered
Is the
or
chat not popping
discouraged
up?
from pursuing their creative ideas. And from what I understand, these guys are
No, it's
pretty
not.
awesome. They literally didn't even go free to
What up,
play.
Nick?
I was reading like about a couple of weeks ago that they were still going to maintain that their game was going to remain this premium purchase instead of turning themselves into this free to play microtransactionable hell. Look, at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
don't make
all
it free to
right,
play.
you can
That'll
see that
make it
they're
worse.
doing the best they can to treat the community that they've built right. And
That's good.
it does suck to see them actually having to take time away and siphon resources just to fight a lawsuit that I don't really think is done in the best of intentions. So clearly, Nintendo finds that there's something wrong, and
I
people are
like how you all
speculating what it
put
is.
in
So
test.
one of the speculations is, clearly Nintendo got pretty mad at the monster hunting dynamic of it, and if that's the patent they're going for, like capturing monsters
They
and
don't own
using them
that.
to battle,
But
well,
they don't
that
own
is a
that.
losing lawsuit right there
Yeah,
because
they don't
monster
own that.
hunting is not entirely new whatsoever.
Of course
In fact,
not.
if we're going to be completely honest, plenty of games have taken a spin on that. Games like Metal Gear Solid, with Peace Walker and Phantom Pain, have literally added a
Damn, bro.
Pokemon-like system where you
Turn up
go
the
out into the
brightness.
wilds, Afghanistan or Africa, and you stick Fulton
That's
recovery
crazy.
systems onto the asses of soldiers, launch them to the stratosphere, and give them a 9-to-5 job as a PMC operator at Diamond Dogs, okay? All right, so this isn't new whatsoever. Hell,
They had this feature even before then, bro. They had this back in Peace Walker as well.
if we want to go back to the origin point, games like the Shin Megami Tensei or the Megami Tensei series
Oh, yeah, yeah,
have allowed you
100%.
to recruit
Shin Megami
monsters
Tensei.
and basically
Demons, yeah.
fuse them, butt fuck them together, and then
Okay.
turn them into monstrosities that will fight alongside you to the credit screen of the game. You played
Yeah,
Persona?
yeah.
The
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
mask
yeah.
system isn't so much different than the Pokeball system. Now, if the trademark is taking a ball and throwing it at the face
Yeah,
of a monster,
that's literally the only thing. This is the only mechanic where you could be like, yeah, bro, copyright, right? That'll be the only one. But even then, I don't think they're Nintendo is the first person to throw balls at shit and then capture it. But maybe they are. Who knows? I have no idea. We will see.
in order to capture it, if that's the patent that Nintendo wants to hit, then my only question is why it took them 9 months to launch this lawsuit and then
They probably tried to
basically
sue 'em on more
ensure
stuff.
that all it seems like with this lawsuit, all it seems like with stuff like this is starving another company out financially or harming them, especially when, from what I understood, Palworld being a surprise success was basically a game that really brought Pocket Pair back onto the pocketbook, so to speak. So Nintendo hitting them in this regard just makes
chat should
no
be
sense
popping up now.
whatsoever. But this also leads to another discussion regarding patents and, patenting actual
it's
game
not.
ideas.
What the hell?
Now, for anybody that doesn't know, this is a patent for a video game known as Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War. So this
Oh,
patent,
yeah,
US 109
Wasn't this like built off Assassin's Creed or something like that?
26179B2 talks about nemesis characters, forts, social vendettas, and followers in computer games. And of course, the abstract for it is a method for managing non-player characters, and power centers in a computer game are based on character hierarchies and individualized correspondence between each character's trait and ranks and events that involve other non-player characters or objects. Effectively, it's a game where there is a society that you can manipulate and a society that constantly is manipulating itself without any
Yes.
of your interaction. So if you ever played the Shadow of War or Shadow of Mordor systems, at some point in the game you unlock the ability to brand, you unlock the ability to control, underlings and
Nintendo wants to be relevant again, so they're starting a drama. Ooh, that's a hot take. That is a hot take.
have them inserted into entire like social groups where there are captains, soldiers, certain hierarchies, and you're basically getting these guys to run these games, these internal politics to either kill, usurp power, or eventually take over an entire organization just so they can eventually do your bidding. Okay, it's called the Nemesis system, and it was one of the best systems
It was.
in those video games, and it made them
Honestly,
so
it really
popular.
was. It was
But
really
if
good.
you look at a patent like this, it was introduced in 2016, and its adjusted expiration is 2036. Meaning this
Damn.
gameplay
That is a long ass time, bro. 20 years? You get to hold the rights to one thing for 20 years? I feel like that's insane. I think we need to take a look at this legally. Definitely need to get this reevaluated because 20 years for you to hold one idea and nobody else can improve on it or even effectively just touch it or use it is absolutely insane. Why do we live in a world like this, bro? This sounds greedy as shit.
system, from my understanding and my understanding of the law, you can't bring this system over to other video games.
That's
Where it would
crazy.
actually be pretty awesome. Look, a lot of the gaming industry is built off of iterating off of each other, okay? When Call of Duty was
That's
at its
everything.
fucking peak in
Everybody was Call of
2009,
Duty.
every game started copying
Yes.
Call of Duty. And it's not because it was just popular, it's because it was fun. It's because it was a system that, captured millions of people, and tons of other games started to capture that magic. So a lot of games end up copying off each other. Pokemon was a very popular video game, but it wasn't the only monster hunting video game out there. Plenty of titles have come before and after that have taken that concept and have built upon it. So Nintendo going out of their way to hit against Palworld, yes, there obviously are some level of similarities between the two games. I'm not going to pretend that there isn't or dig my head in the sand. But Nintendo going after 9 months to finally build this weird patent case and go after a company like this is clearly a sign of, in my opinion, more malicious legal acting than there
Mm,
actually being a real patent case to really go after.
I agree. I feel like Nintendo's going after them because of their competition. That's all it is. They don't like to see somebody else succeeding with an idea that's very similar to theirs. That sounds like some Nintendo stuff because Nintendo has always been about greed, greed, greed. Always. And it's never changed, bro. Ever.
But hey, ultimately, at the end of the day, look, Pocket Pair is a small company as compared to Nintendo. Nintendo is one of the largest, if not, I think, the largest company in all of Japan. So they've got money to burn legally, okay? And they can bring up whatever bullshit case they want in
They
Tokyo
can.
courts.
They
And
really
they could
can.
very, very easily snuff out the financials of the smaller
Yes,
company.
they could just drag
And
it out.
that's where I think ultimately the story is really headed to go to. I don't know if they have a case, but this is very much an on brand
They don't have a case, but because they have money, they have a case.
Nintendo thing to do. At the end of the day, all I really hope is Palworld ends up winning. I always root for the underdog,
I
especially
would
in
hope so
situations
too,
like this.
honestly. I really
I
would hope
don't
so
think
too.
that Palworld is doing anything that is necessarily encroaching on the patents that Nintendo has brought up. If the closest patent that I could even think of, and again, this is pure speculation, is maybe the ideas of throwing Pokeballs
Yes,
at
that's it.
monsters and
Same.
watching them be captured.
Same.
3 shakes and suddenly
it.
they're yours. Maybe
That's
that is
it.
the case. Okay, maybe it could be something entirely different. Hell, maybe it could be
Maybe.
the idea of stuffing these things in a digital box, a digital PC. Maybe that's the patent. I don't necessarily know.
Yeah, they didn't
But
say it.
whatever it has to be is something so insignificant and tiny and very specific to the Pokemon franchise that it took them 9 months to dig it out of their ass and suddenly go into court and aim for injunction. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But is it a good look for
Facts.
Nintendo? No. But at the end of the day, is it going to affect, a Nintendo
No,
sale? Probably not.
absolutely not, bro. The Nintendo fanboys, they are there. They are sticking with it. They are not going to switch up. As long as they get Mario, as long as they get Zelda, as long as they get Just Dance, they don't care about nothing else, bro.
There's still going to be fucking people buying Pokemon games and everything out
Yes.
there. But
Yes.
yeah, it's a
And
sad thing to
Pokemon
see.
is ass. This Pokemon has been ass for like the last 5 to 10 years.
And generally, look, the best is when the gaming industry iterates and learns from each other, not when they're busy litigating each other to
A
prevent
hundred
gameplay
percent.
features from showing up
A hundred
in other
percent,
games.
bro. That's
That is
everything.
just selfish and sad.
It
Anyways,
is.
if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.
All right, yeah, man, that's a great video from Mutahar. Again, this video comes from the Discord, man. I enjoy having conversations about these, but to be honest, yeah, it's not going to affect Nintendo whatsoever. I think if anything, it's bad reputation, but they have such a high status, it might not affect them until their actual fan base realizes how terrible of a company they are. Like honestly, Pokemon has not been good since Pokemon Go, and that was a long ass time ago. Pokemon Stadium, lit. Pokemon Adventures, cool. Pokemon Snap, underrated gym. Well, maybe now it's perfectly rated, but back in the day, underrated gym. But yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. Stuff changes as time goes on. And if anything, I hope Palworld does succeed. And I hope, this makes a lot of noise and they get a lot of support. The court of public opinion is very powerful, especially in a place like Japan. So I'd love to see more people say, hey, defend Palworld because it's something new and it's something that a lot of people enjoyed. And I think more people should get involved with when it comes to supporting the little guy. Anyways, that's the video. That's the reaction. If you like what you like, click the like button on the video, comment below, your comments below. They're over here in the chat. We're live on Twitch and they're talking about it as well. You guys can't see the chat right now. I'm going to fix that for the next video. But until then, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Join the Discord down below, drop your videos, and I'll check them out. Peace.